Hi everybody, I just wanted to do a quick video. There's been a lot of questions about using the multi-purpose adhesive, so I wanted to do a quick video to show you exactly what we're talking about. So this is just a small piece of that multi-purpose adhesive that it comes in 6x12 sheets right now. You can also get it from Sizzix in 12x12 sheets. I've got some gold foil and I've got one of my detailed dies here. There's two other tools that I use a lot with these, and that's the die brush and the take your pick tool. If you don't have either of these things, that's okay. You can make do with other things, but they are very, very handy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you first how to layer all of this. So the first thing you want to do, and the reason I'm using the foil paper is that you can clearly see what side I'm doing this on. So on the back of the foil paper, I'm going to apply the adhesive. So what you want to do is you want to peel one side of this off. And that can be a little tricky. The full sheets do have like a spot that will peel off easier. This just because it's a little piece, I don't really have that. So this side peels off easier, and then you just stick this onto the back of, so you can see now I just have my foil piece and I've applied that adhesive. Now this backing is still on here. I want to leave that backing on. Now I'm going to build my Big Shot sandwich. So I'm going to bring my Big Shot in here. And I've got, this is the new platform, so it doesn't have the hinge, but this is going to be exactly the same if you have the older style. It still has the hinge. You want to just use your regular, whatever you use for your thin dies. And then you've got one plate, and I just realized I'm short a plate here. Let me go grab my other plate. Okay, so I've got my platform and my plate. I've got my foil, and this is the important part. You want to put the die on the side of the paper that you want to see. So in this case, I want to see the foil. I'm going to put the die on that side and then another plate on top. So you can do this the other way around too if you'd like. I actually like cutting this way, if that makes sense. So I've got my die cutting up, and then my paper over top of it, again with the foil side facing the die, and then my other plate on top. And you can see my plates are in terrible shape. They're cracked, they're almost going to be replaced, and that's okay. So now I'm going to put this through here. I'm going to do it a couple of times, make sure those cuts go all the way through. Alright, so now I have my foil, and the first little piece comes out fairly easily, and you can see that I kind of have some of this backing paper is sticking to the bigger piece, and that's okay. So now I've got, this is actually in here, and this can be kind of hard to get out now because this is a little thicker than you're used to working with now. So this is where the die brush comes in handy. It does come with that foam mat that you can put it on and roll with it. What I like to do is I actually like to hold it, and then it's a lot of pressure, so I'm actually pushing with both hands to get through, and you can see that some of these pieces will actually start falling out. So some of my smaller pieces, like this in here, the Y, will start to fall out. Once you have kind of a piece lifting, like you can see right here, this piece is lifting, that's where the take your pick tool comes in handy. And I actually don't use the piercing tool because it will leave marks. I switch this around and I use this spatula, and all I do is I go right underneath there and I lift that up, and then I keep going around, and I use that kind of opening as an opportunity to start working around, and you can see it peels away from the die quite nicely. And you can kind of pull on it, and then as you go along, you'll see that this starts coming out. And then you can just peel the backing paper off, and this will now stick to your project Does that make sense? I hope that this clarified some of the questions and issues that have been coming up with the multi-purpose paper. The really important things are to get that layering right. Make sure that you've got the die on the side that you want to show. If you're having trouble with your sandwich, it may be because your Big Shot is too tight or too loose. You may have to work with some shims if you're not getting it cut through, things like that. And yeah, find something that's like the Take Your Pick tool has a, if you don't have one that has kind of that flat, you could use a pair of scissors to, or if all you have is like a piercing tool, you could use your piercing tool. Just be kind of careful that you're not poking holes into your material. All right, enjoy.